What would you say separates companies that survive scale up from those that crumble?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Obviously, there are a few things that needs to come together. First of all, the business idea. When you move from a startup to a scale up phase, the business idea shouldn't just be an idea. It should be a model that's worked out and that's fully proven. Unfortunately, in many cases, it seems to be an idea and somehow they convince the funding, investors to invest into the business. And that's not quite it. The proof of the business that it works, it can scale needs to be established fully. And then it's about the team, really, leadership and team. The CEO and the founding teams are super useful and super important for the success of the business because of the small nature of the team. They are the culture. In big companies, yeah, you have all these cultures, you write these things and it is more organic. But in scale ups, it is the CEO and founders that make the culture. So if they are able to create the environment of psychological safety, people can fail, people can move on, people can take risks and grow, and they are embedded within the business, there's a good chance that the scale ups will make it. On the other hand, you also have scale ups or kind of super hype. The business model is not proved. They also hire people based on like brands, and I'm come from Amazon myself, but just because I have an Amazon brand doesn't make me the right fit for the roles in the scale ups. Might be in some case, might not be in some case. The founders and leadership need to be very honest about who are they looking for, at what level of maturity the org is. And they need to bring people that are right for that kind of stage. Also, let go of people who are not serving them because, somebody who's done well in 1 to 100 might not be the right person from 100 to 1,000 or beyond, which is very hard. If you think about the founders, they have a lot of loyalty, which is a great thing because they had people who have been with them for quite a long time. However, including themselves, you need to question, does the business need my skills, or it could be better off with somebody else who has the experience of scaling? So yeah, these are very tough conversations to be had, reflections to be had, something that I covered in my book as well. But it's important when a business has its own identity, it's becoming a bigger part of the employers and it's actually making an impact to do justice to it and not be blockers for the business, even though you're like be the founder and CEO.
What are some like tips you have or strategies that maybe you share in the book to help founders and leadership teams when they might be at that point where it might be time to reevaluate the roles of some of those longtime loyal employees or even themselves? Is there opportunities to change the role, or are there some cases where they just need to completely exit the company and find a new home?
Yeah, it's a mix of both. I think the main thing is you have a strategy, a vision, and then you develop your org structure and skills working backwards from it. And that includes the founder and the CEO and the top leadership till the junior most level as well. Ever so often, every year, if it's a scale up or even more frequently, the needs keep changing. So you need to think about, okay, this year, this is my goal. For example, your goal could be, I'm going to expand in new markets and I need some scalable systems to do that. And then you think about, okay, do I have the leadership in place in all these areas to drive this? Have these people got the experience? And then work downwards, like bottom, top down from it. In terms of the question of, could we coach people and upskill them? Or should some people have to exit? I think it's again a combination of both. At some level, some scenarios, people are coachable, especially if they're early, like, the junior employees and mid-level employees, still possible to coach them as long as they have role models in their team. So I have worked in businesses where everybody is like pretty new and then they don't have these leadership and role models to coach them and grow them. But in some cases, people are just suited for that stage of the business. So again, I have the suitability test as well in my book, and I'm going to share that in some form. Is we need to understand what drives people, where do they thrive. So somebody who has a very high risk appetite and has an allergic reaction to processes, they're not going to thrive in like bigger companies or even like the scaling companies. Or somebody who has very low risk appetite and they like to analyze and think about things before they do, they're not going to thrive in the early stage. So we got to kind of be real about where people thrive in their environment and have that conversation with them. And rather than seeing this as a negative, it's probably a good thing for this person because they're no longer in an environment they're going to able to thrive. So give them an opportunity to also move on to somewhere they can do well.